Our other big story, a powerful atmospheric river causing all sorts of problems on this first alert weather day. We had flooding, we had downed trees, power outages, just a common sight all across the Bay Area today. But take a look at this. The storm moving out in time for the evening commute, mostly dry conditions on our Bay Area bridges tonight. We even saw glimpses of the sun. Get that a little bit earlier. First alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan tracking the rapidly changing conditions, our next chance of wet weather. But man, this morning, woo, it was coming down.
We said the morning commute was the trouble time, and that continued all the way past midday into early afternoon. It was raining intensely for a while. So let's take a look at how things played out. We're going to back the radar up 12 hours. We're going to go from 5 a.m. to the current radar perspective, and 5 a.m. is when some of the heaviest rain was surging in. That moved off to the east, but then another wave of heavy rain came up from the south late this morning into early afternoon. You can see the progression of that as the radar kind of repeats that same loop. That heaviest, steadiest rain has moved off to the east, but we are going to be seeing a few lingering off and on showers possible as we head through the rest of tonight. This is Futurecast. Does show the showers to be few and far between, but not necessarily absent. Stash the umbrella in the backseat if you have any Thursday evening plans. But as we head through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is when this animation stops, looks like we are going to stay in that break in the action to at least start the day. But a couple of spotty showers are still going to be possible tomorrow. So how much rain did we add up through the course of today? The amounts were pretty impressive, especially as always in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Over 5 inches of total rainfall for Ben Lomond, while at lower elevations, just over an inch for Santa Cruz. Had about a ½ inch of rain in San Jose, about 2/3 of an inch of rain for Livermore and Concord, and then more than an inch as you go farther to the north. Almost exactly 1 inch in Fairfield, about 1.25 inches in San Francisco, and then more than 2 inches in San Rafael and in Santa Rosa. And we had plenty of wind energy associated with this system as well, especially closer to the coast and the higher elevations. Had a 53-mile-an-hour gust at Bodega Bay, an 80-mile-an-hour gust on Pine Mountain. Again, it's the sparsely populated higher elevation spots that had those strongest gusts through the course of this morning. But now those winds have started to back down. But we are not done with the wet weather just yet. We're tracking several more rain chances in the extended forecast. I've got that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Paul. Well, a bulk of that rain and wind hitting the North Bay earlier this morning, leading to scenes just like this one. Look at this. A large oak tree came crashing down in Sonoma County, bringing down utility lines. This was on Mark West Station Road. And there were scenes like this all throughout the Bay Area. Our Kelsi Thorud has been tracking the storm's impact in San Francisco. So, Kelsi, you've been all across the Bay Area. What have you seen?
Well, Ryan, we've seen a lot, but the best we've seen is what we're seeing right now, which is some dry weather, and it's turning into a really beautiful evening here in San Francisco. But as you and Paul were mentioning earlier, it was a much different story this morning. The rain was really coming down, wind in a lot of portions of the city. It caused traffic jams, trees falling down, and even power outages. The early morning rain caused a bit of a rude awakening for folks who live near the intersection of Steiner and McAllister in Alamo Square. A massive tree fell onto several parked cars, blocking the entire street. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the scene itself was enough to shock several people walking by.
They said it was going to be bad, but, you know, the wind from the disaster, I don't know if it would go all the way over here. This is something.
Traffic was also a mess for people trying to get into the city for work. A stretch of the Embarcadero lost power, causing headaches for both drivers and local businesses.
When I went to work, the power was out in our building, so I couldn't do much. I had to rely on my hotspot. That's why I'm on my way back home now, just to continue working at home.
Flooding was also an issue across the city. Clogged storm drains turned intersections into rivers until crews could arrive to clean them out. Despite all the mess, many people still made the best of the soggy morning. We met a dog walker who was not just braving the rain, but enjoying it with her pooch Pipa.
It's awesome. I mean, I do like when it's raining, and also you can see like no one is here, so it's kind of fun actually. And I think she's enjoying more than me. So that is cool. I mean, I like it.
Others taking advantage of the lack of people outside. This group of women we met at Pier 39. They're visiting from the Midwest and told me they weren't fazed by all the rain.
It was snowing at home when we left, yes. So yeah, we're fine.
So this is good weather.
Yeah. This is not accumulating the same way.
And Ryan, those women were not only just checking out Pier 39, they were actually going on a boat trip in the bay. So they were serious about not letting the rain deter their plans. You know, as they said, they're from the Midwest, so they have seen much worse. And they said, you know, when it comes to rain, you just have to change your mindset and just allow it to happen, and then you'll still have a good time.
Those are some brave tours to go out in the bay because the winds were pretty strong, too.
Yeah, hey, they had their ponchos on. They were ready to go.
Absolutely, and I do agree. You do have the best view, at least for this evening, those $1 million views from Dolores Park. Okay, Kelsi Thorud reporting live in San Francisco. We're also seeing damage in the East Bay. Part of a tree came crashing down into someone's backyard in Oakland. Those heavy branches falling onto some cars parked on Moss Avenue. We heard from one woman whose car was slightly damaged, but she had to stay home from work until those crews could clean things up.
I can't even go to my car because the firefighters were like, you can't even get in the car and drive off right now, and there were like branches all over my car. The actual tree looks like it fell in the backyard, but the branches, like all of them, were all in my car.
And in Oakland's Oakmore neighborhood, a fallen tree brought down a power line down onto a car that was parked in a driveway. PG&E crews cleaned up that mess and no one was hurt, thankfully. And this is a look at the current PG&E outage map. You can see some small outages kind of scattered around the Bay Area. The North Bay had the most customers impacted. PG&E says it had crews staged and ready to respond to those potential outages. And you may still encounter some standing water on the roads. This was the scene along Highway 238 in Hayward. This afternoon, several lanes were briefly closed, and parts of Santa Cruz County getting some of the heaviest rain today. Driving conditions not ideal. Look at this. This car veered off the road along Highway 1 near Salinas Road earlier today. That was a pretty dangerous stretch. Only minor injuries were reported. And we aren't done with the rain just yet. For our first alert weather anytime, just head to KPIX.com. You can also watch us streaming on the free CBS News app.